about the $7.90 mark, but I can't stress too much today how difficult this day is. The Foster's Melbourne Cup is hard, and the supporting races, I think, are even harder.
Yes, well, I'm just looking there. Majestic Miss has come up $19.80 on the tote, so pretty good value there.
Maybe something each way on Jennifer's selection there. Number 17 in the third. That's the 1-3 fine handicap. 11:45 is the scheduled starting time. Jockeys are making their way to the scales after the running of the second. And yes, I think we did see True Blonde just shy away from the crowd a little bit, and we saw that beautifully from the Whitman's Lightship, Jen, that she was hard up against the rail and then just rolled in about 3 or 4 off the fence at the end of the race.
Well, as Richard was explaining, that the 2-year-olds, it's very difficult for them, particularly with these big crowds. They've never seen that before, and only to be expected, I think. But half-sister to Snippets, mind you, so should be able to run.
Yeah, can go just a little bit. True Blonde by naturalism out of easy date, as Richard said, hence the name. Well, 1001 Dalmatians. You're going to see some weird and wonderful sights. I'm looking forward to getting down to the mounting yard and seeing the scene down there. It's always great, Jen, when you and I walk into the mounting yard for the first time on Melbourne Cup Day, and the atmosphere, you can almost feel it, can't you?
Well, look at the size of the crowd, Peter, and it's still early in the morning so far. We're up to race 3 coming up, but I think we're going to have a massive crowd here, and if the sun just pokes out, it'll be perfect.
Des Gleeson going through the ritual, 16, 11 and 1 the placings, and we're about to get the correct weight signal on race 2, and once we do, we'll bring you the dividends. Correct weight from Des Gleeson, brought to you by Whitman's on the second event, so Dan Malicki should be able to give us the totes, with True Blonde successful in race number 2.
And it returns officially $2.90 for the win and $1.50 the place. 11 Pride of Pyrmont $2.60 and 1 Minimal $2.80. Quinella $13.60, the trifecta $277.60, and the running double $36 for the high numbers of 15 and 16 in the running double. And the margins there were a length and a quarter by a half a head. Fourth was number 4, Amedio, and fifth in number 2, Randy's Rancher. And the time, Peter's very slick for young horses, 58.4.
58.4 is moving along down the straight there, a length and a quarter by a half head. Jennifer, they weren't that far away with Pride of Pyrmont. The money came for it. It did get a long way back, but was stretching out nicely at the end. Yes,
I thought it was a nice first-up effort, but a lot of money had gone astray there. That's for sure.
Now, later in the day, the Melbourne Cup, as I mentioned, Grandmaster, they're barking this at the track this morning, but I would think it would need to improve a fair bit on Saturday's performance.
Yes, I agree with you there, Peter, because I thought I would have liked to have seen him get to the line just a little bit stronger than he did, but you never ever want to bag one of Bart Cummings' horses, do you?
Exactly right. Well, maybe Jenny Woods of Dunoon in Tasmania might have reason to back Grandmaster, because she's $5,000 better off, because she's won our New Idea competition. Jenny, congratulations, and hopefully you will be able to invest that $5,000 wisely. Jenny Woods in Tasmania, you are no doubt jumping up and down because you're already a winner on Foster's Melbourne Cup Day. There's True Blonde with the rug on, and part of the huge crowd leaning over the mounting yard. The young and the not so young are all here, as they have been ever since 1861. And I was reading up back about the Melbourne Cup last night, Jen, and the feud that went on between the Victoria Turf Club and the Victoria Jockey Club was basically the reason that the Melbourne Cup came into being. And aren't we pleased that there was a feud back in 1861?
Oh, yeah, because it's a great day and one not to be missed here in Melbourne. And, oh, we've just got a chance. Let's say congratulations to Kim Hall, Greg Hall's wife, who gave birth to a little baby girl yesterday, Cassie, and I'm sure Kim will be watching from her hospital bed there today, and hope she's well. Yeah,
Kimmy, we wish you the best, and I think you're going to be biting your fingernails at around 3:20. Well, the second event over and done with. The presentation is ready again. Here's Rob Gaylor.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The Vic Health 1000, and a thrilling finish, horses down both sides of the track here. This is Sally Churnside representing the VRC, but to make the presentation, Mr. Ron Casey, AM board member of Victoria Health Promotion.
Thank you, right, Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, happy owners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The Victorian, or Vic Health, is the Victorian Health Promotion Foundation, which is the funding organisation for numerous health organisations to convey their important message to the people of Victoria. Vic Health believes that racing in the metropolitan area and in country Victoria is an ideal vehicle for conveying those health messages. Vic Health provides funds for sponsorship not only of racing but for many other sports. 96 separate sports organisations and events are sponsored in this financial year by funds made available from Vic Health. So we believe that sport and particularly racing is an excellent vehicle for those messages. So when you see the Vic Health message, please take note, because if that occurs, well, then our sponsorship and promotion is well worthwhile. Our congratulations go to the connections of the winner of the Vic Health Stakes, True Blonde, and I invite Mr. Michael Sassine to step forward and accept the trophy. Congratulations to him, his co-owners, to trainer Lee Friedman, and to jockey Damien Oliver. Lee.
Thank you to Ron Casey, and congratulations to the connections of True Blonde, the winner after race 2 at Flemington on Melbourne Cup Day. The next event, the 1-3 fine handicap, 11:45, and then a few hours later on, they're going to be running for the most famous trophy in Australian sport. And here it is here with us. Isn't it great to have it here?
Fantastic, isn't
Touch it for luck, Jen.
Oh, yes.
It's the Foster's Melbourne Cup, $32,500. And we're looking forward to seeing the big race later on this afternoon. After this break, your host will be Sandra Sully. And then we'll be leading through to Tim Webster a little bit later on in the afternoon. Enjoy the day, everyone. We'll look forward to joining you from the mounting yard very shortly. We'll take a break with Milton Black's horoscopes. Maybe you need a little bit more help to find a winner on Melbourne Cup Day.
Leos show the world what a great punter you can be. Big bucks each way takes home a fortune. And follow horses with names suggesting nostalgia, audience and boasting. Lucky numbers 1, 3 and 6. Virgo, you'll be cashing big dollars at the bank tomorrow if you stick to horses with names suggesting productivity, training and technique. Lucky numbers 1, 3 and 4. Libra, you can't put a foot wrong today. Good fortune comes your way if you follow horses with names suggesting action, opponents and fashion. Lucky numbers 1, 4 and 8. Scorpio, don't listen to other people's tips. Just back horses with names suggesting travel, history and control. Lucky numbers 2, 6 and 7.
Friday.
Welcome back to Flemington, and of course this is Network 10's coverage of the big day. I'm Sandra Sully, I'll be your host for the next little while, and welcome to the 10 Marquee, where I'm stationed throughout the day. We'll be talking to lots of celebrities and of course checking out the fashion and what's happening here at Flemington. I can tell you the crowds are starting to swell. The weather a little brisk but starting to clear, and we are promised good weather, so fingers crossed. We should check out, I think, exactly how far away the big race is, so let's just take a look at our countdown clock. I think it's around 4 hours to go to the big race, 3:50 in fact. Well, the Melbourne Cup is the pinnacle of Australian racing, and for any jockey lucky enough to win, it can be quite overwhelming. In fact, over the years, some of their reactions have been memorable.
Sometimes it's hard to believe.
Mate, this is unbelievable. I just won the Melbourne Cup.
Sometimes it's hard to put into words.
It certainly was beyond my wildest dreams to come here today and win the Melbourne Cup.
And sometimes you just have to share it with someone.
Can I just give all the glory to God? I just thank him so much.
Winning the Melbourne Cup can be an emotional experience and frequently provides some amazing scenes in the immediate aftermath. When a young Shane Dye rode a copybook race on Terrific in 1989, he couldn't believe his dream had been achieved. And on stepping from the scales, he couldn't hold back the tears.
Before the turn, I thought, well, I've wasted nothing. I've got to go round them. And I thought, I was on the right horse, the best stayer, and he's won.
And most remarkable of all, through the mobile microphone, the best story of Jean's Cup was relayed around the world before the jockey had even slid out of the saddle.
And there's a little fella down the country town in Victoria who's been through the same as I went through with the tumours. Yeah. The boy called Andrew Reid. Andrew. I let him down yesterday. I was supposed to go and see him, but with all the pressure on, this is for you, Andrew, too.
Yeah, you'll be there tomorrow.
My word.
Congratulations.
I'll be very drunk tonight, I'll tell you.
Good on you, mate.
Sagittarius. Winners won't pass you by if you stick to the second and third favourites today. Luck comes unexpectedly, and follow horses with names suggesting parade, rumours and legal. Lucky numbers 1, 2 and 4. Capricorn, take a double with a friend. You may just scoop the pool. And keep to the second favourites. Follow horses with names suggesting beverage, integrity and responsibility. Lucky numbers 1, 6 and 8. Aquarius, break the bookies is your motto today. If you follow horses with names suggesting advise, liberation and valuables. Lucky numbers 1, 4 and 5. Pisces, you'll be amazed with what you pull out of the hat today. First and second favourites are your best bet. Look for horses with names suggesting luxury, politics and gold. Lucky numbers 2, 3 and 4. Now the best double digits today are 13 and 20.
A very special guest on the VRC out to Australia for Cup Week, and that's Mr. Freddie Fox. Welcome.
Good morning.
Now we should introduce you as the Queen's milliner, and yet you are an Australian lad. You grew up here and made your way over to London. Tell us a little bit about how wonderful that your role must be.
Well, it's very interesting. I managed to get some very interesting places to go. I usually go and see the Queen in one of the palaces, in Balmoral or Sandringham or London, whichever.
Now you must be a regular race goer. You made this hat for me this morning for our wonderful champagne breakfast at the Sofitel.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the hat and why you decided to choose this one for me.
Well, I thought it was better to have something that had a transparent brim, so that the light would come through the brim and you wouldn't get too much shadow. Also, the black and white is better than a solid black hat, particularly when it's as large as that.
We're just watching myself on Good Morning Australia this morning modelling the hat, and it did look absolutely beautiful. I am this week, Frederick, showcasing a Sydney designer, Jane Lambert, and she was saying the same sort of thing, that this transparent feature, which she has on my hat as well, is very in this year.
Yes, it's very popular. It's also very light, you know, that's the other thing, that people love it because you don't know you have it on your head.
Well, we appreciate your tips for what we should be wearing this year, and we do hope you thoroughly enjoy the Cup Carnival. It's wonderful to have you out here, and enjoy the day. Happy punting.
Thank you.
Now, I understand Lynn Talbot is on the members' lawn, and with her are some of the stars of a brand new series about to begin on Network 10. Lynn.
That is right. With me, I have two very glamorous race goers in Rachel Blakely and Kimberly Joseph, and they tell me that Network 10 is ready for an action-packed series next year called Tales of the South Sea. Now, you play Claire, don't you?
That's right, yep. Claire's an English girl who comes over from the UK to Tahiti. It's set in Tahiti in the early 1900s.
After some romance, I believe.
That's right, but she doesn't find it, but it's so beautiful she decides to stay anyway. But Rachel's the action woman.
You are. Now tell us, you actually had to do a lot of things that you're not used to.
Well, action's a bit of an understatement, yes. I get to fire guns, I get to ride horses, I get to beat up men, which is always really interesting, but rescue a few on the way as well.
Terrific. Well, all the best for today, and do enjoy it.
Thank you.
And a few tips.
I'd say Alpha, because it's Darren Beeman's last race and Bart Cummings' horse, so Alpha.
And you?
Arabian Story.
Oh, good luck to you both.
Thank you.
Thanks, Len. Yes, some surprising tips there. Not really in a field as good as today. Tim Webster's out and about. I understand the birdcage area, surrounded by just a couple of his friends.
Oh, there's thousands here already, Sandra. I have one of the true legends of racing with me, Jack Purtell, who won 3 Melbourne Cups and 50th anniversary of Haraji's in 1947. G'day, Jack.
Hey, Tim.
Do you remember the race?
Oh, quite vividly.
Yeah. What about the other two? My dad was a big Rising Fast fan. That was the last one in 1954. What are your memories of those times and those great battles with George Moore?
Well, I can only say that I only met George more or less in a tight finish on occasion, and that was at Caulfield. He beat me, but I protested and beat him. So we never spoke for a while.
3 Melbourne Cups, I think 4 Cox Plates, a Caulfield Cup, and your favourite horse of all time, I understand, was the Great Comic Court. Why?
He was, because he was a great horse. And he did everything was right. Was he win the Derby, the Melbourne Cup, and then came out and got a record in the 6 furlong race. So there you are.
He was a genuine weight for age champion, wasn't he? Okay, I asked you this before, and you weren't real sure, but a tip today, what do you like? Do you like anything?
I'm only going by the experts, such as yourself, etc. And I think Ebony Grove, perhaps, I don't know.
It was a pretty good run on Saturday.
I thought so, yes.
Thanks very much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your retirement up there on the Sunshine Coast. You've chosen a great place to live.
Thank you, just so.
Jack Purtell, Sandra, and it's his 50th anniversary of that first Cup win today, back in 1947. Special guest of the VRC. Back to you.
Thanks, Tim. Well, it's time now to cross to Peter and Jen in the mounting yards. And Peter, details for race 3, the mare's chance to take centre stage.
Yes, it certainly is, Sandra, and they're on their way to the gates for the 1-3 fine handicap. And let's have a look at number 2, Jen. Australis Bazaar, and Mark Flaherty is the rider here.
Well, Australis Bazaar never got a chance to get a crack at them at Caulfield at its last start, and then sat 3 wide at Moonee Valley. She's back to restricted mares class here, and she's definitely a chance in this. Gold View number 3, and he's to be ridden, or she's to be ridden, by Frankie Dettori. Ran on strongly at Wodonga and not much luck in the Gold Nugget at Ballarat last start. And that's not last start, the start before, and at Albury, then won quite easily. Frankie Dettori gives them about another 6 or 7 lengths, so must be a chance. Elsie Elmer number 5 is my choice each way, Damien Oliver. Not a lot went right for her at Geelong, and I thought she went quite well on that occasion. You have to respect the good jockey on board with Damien, and one of the chances. 7 Robley Lass, Danny Nikolic. Ran strongly behind the Geelong Cup winner 3 starts ago, and this distance is going to suit her. So I think back to the 1700 here, she comes into it with a chance. 8 Royal Mystique to be ridden by Peter Mertens. Good luck to a colleague of ours, Drew and Kaz Morford. Yes, very good luck to them. Battling effort, though, at Flemington, I thought, and every possible chance at Moe when she did win that race. Just won by a nose, so I'd say a place chance at best. 9 Lumpy's Princess Stephen King. 52 kilos, a very consistent type of mare, a big weight drop for her here, so she comes into it with a definite chance. Riding change on 10 Appreciable. Brett Preble is now the rider, replacing Mick Dittman, who couldn't make the weight. Yes, a horse that does like to box seat in her races, and I think she'll be able to do that from barrier 1, so she's there with an each-way chance. And one line about Majestic Miss number 17. Well, she's my pick in the race, Peter. I thought she had a terrific value chance. No luck at all at Geelong at her last start, just never got out. And at Sandown, also ran on very, very strongly on that occasion, so she's definitely there with a good, strong chance at good odds. OK, well, we've got a bit of time, so give us your selections. 17, 9 and what is it, 4? And no, 4 has been scratched, so number 5, Elsie Elmer. I put him for 3rd. And there we can see the selections. OK, well, Jennifer's gone for Majestic Miss, as we can see. Robley Lass, number 7 from Richard Friedman. Gold View, number 3 from Johnny Letts, and Elsie Elmer, number 5 for me. And this is a good illustration, Jen. I think that it's going to be one of those days where we quite often get 4 different tips in a race, because you could come up with 7 or 8 different tips in some of these races and really not have too much idea about what's going to go on. There are the tote figures as they stand, and you can see that Gold View is right in the betting, as too is Australis Bazaar. Elsie Elmer's given a good each way chance. The other 2 weren't that far away either, Arabian Poppy and Robley Lass. And good chances to numbers 8, 9 and 10, Royal Mystique, Lumpy's Princess and Appreciable. Then you've got big odds about the bottom 3 on that page, and over the page the best of those is Majestic Miss number 17, Jenny's selection at $13 and around about $3 or $4 for the place. Well, she's come in quite a lot, hasn't she, Peter? She was $19.80, now $13. We know why that is. They start at the 1700. It's a somewhat unusual distance here, and they'll have a run of 300 metres down to the first turn. So we've got 3 scratchings here, but there's still a big field of 16, and I think outside barriers are a distinct disadvantage here. Shortly we'll be talking to Roy Higgins and see how he's marked them on the 3rd race. In the meantime, down to the betting ring, and Tim Gossage with the latest.
Lumpy's Princess has been back, Peter. Still each way odds the field. It really is an open race, as you said. Any one of the runners can win. There is one down the bottom, Majestic Miss. It's about $11 on the tote. About that price down here, been a bit of specking for the emergency. Just reflecting on race 2, the bookmakers are hurting. They lost money on True Blonde, and they also lost badly on Pride of Piermont, because it was big odds each way, and a lot of the money came from phone bets from people watching Network 10.
Well, that's good news. At least someone's got some money sitting at home watching us, and we'll be doing our best to steer them into a winner on what is a very difficult day today, Jennifer. It sure is, and having to do a lot of the mares form as well leading into this. They've come from all sorts of walks of life from Geelong and you name it, out in the bush areas, and hard to line them up some of the time, but they get their big chance here on Melbourne Cup Day. OK, well, while these runners are at the stalls, we might call upon our old mate who's joined us from the birdcage area, and he's been casting his eye over these mares before the start of race 3. G'day, Roy.
Hi, Pete. How are you?
I'm well, and
I'm a hat.
Oh, it's terrific.
I got sunburned here on Saturday. I pinched this hat yesterday. Now the sun won't come out, so I'm going good, aren't I?
I think it will later in the day, though.
I think it will. Big crowd rolling in here. Looks excellent. There's some very open races, I think Jenny just mentioned, with the mares. If you're down in the lower numbers there in the 8, 9 and 10, I can assure you those three all looked excellent and did the 3 Gold View, which is Frankie Dettori's ride. Be good to see Frankie kick off for the winner here, and they'll really set this crowd alight. I went with the 9, Lumpy's Princess, in front of 8, Royal Mystique, putting in the 3 Gold View. I did think it looked well. And number 10, Appreciable. A good winner at Geelong recently, did look excellent going out. I marked them 9, 8, 3 and 10 for race 3 on the program. Pete?
Good on you, Roy. Thanks very much. Roy Higgins, who'll be joining us throughout the day with his thoughts, and looks as though there was just a bit of an adjustment going on there too, number 18, and that is Pipeline Miss. Well, Greg Childs is the rider for Jen's tip in the race, Majestic Miss, and here's what he had to say pre-race to Mark Aston.
I was a little bit unlucky at the last start at Geelong. Had trouble negotiating a clear run. Today she's over the 2,000 metres, or 1,700 I should say. She gets a chance, and she's a winner here at Flemington before, so she's in it.
Greg Childs speaking before the race. There is Brent Thompson moving into the gates aboard his mount. I had a good look at the stalls too, Jen. There is a lot more padding than there was in the old stalls, and that's good for the jocks, I think.
Oh, and for the horses,
yeah.
Absolutely, because there's not a lot of room in those stalls, and if you happen to get your leg crushed up against the side of the barriers, I can tell you it really does hurt.
Well, one man who knows all about that is in the commentary box with Dan Malicki, Gary Willis.
Yes, certainly. I remarked on that on Saturday about how good this padding is. It's really makes a big difference. If a horse rears up and you get crushed, by gee, you can get hurt. And, like in the States, I know there was a really good boy got killed one day. A horse reared up and crushed him on the back of the stalls. But these stalls here, with all that green padding on them and the foam, it makes a lot of difference also to the horses as well as the jockey, because they can get you on the side and crush your leg into the side of them, and it makes it a bit difficult. This is always an awkward barrier, this 1,700 metres from Flemington. You've only got a very short run, and then you're on that wide sweeping bend, and you've really got to get over and try and get a bit of cover before they get on the bend. Tough race, Stan.
Certainly is. El Ticino, horse here wearing colours that have been worn to victory in the Melbourne Cup before. Kenzai carried them, red with the green sleeves.
Yeah, ridden by Larry Olsen. As far as the Bazaar, I thought that looked very well going down to the post.
Excuses for its last couple. Trapped wide last start at Moonee Valley. In the start before, got into awful bother when held up in the Laurent Perrier, or the Perrier.
It'd be great to see Mark Flaherty if he can get up and win on this horse, because he's had a real battle with weight and done a good job to get back riding.
And good luck to the crew with Lumpy's Princess. I've got a family member involved in it.
Yes.
The Grant family. Steve and his brother Paul, well known in the entertainment industry too, so there'll be a lot of eyes watching Lumpy's Princess. Good luck to the crew.
Said there's been a lot of money for number 10, Appreciable. It's come in really short at the last moment.
Now it's a grey Appreciable. There are 2 greys in the race, but Appreciable's drawn barrier 1. Now they're set to go. The mares are ready. Race 3 on Melbourne Cup Day, and they're racing now. An even break. Robbie Lass is out the back early with Gold View and also Our Spanish Eyes. Appreciable jump well from El Ticino. Pipeline misses 3 deep and 4 wide. Arabian Poppy into that first turn, then Royal Mystique and Nitschka. Further out was Missing Sheets and then Elsie Elmer from Majestic Miss. Lumpy's Princess a bit midfield there. Getting checked was Elsie Elmer, and it's had to be restrained back to midfield now. Talak Toff is 3 deep around it. Robbie Lass was next on the inside of Lumpy's Princess, and then a line Gold View, and 2 lengths away Australis Bazaar, which has been snagged back to the tail of the field. So there's probably about 10 lengths first to last, and bowling along in front now we have Arabian Poppy, which was able to work to the lead. Going up second was Appreciable, but off the fence, and Missing Sheets has been wide, but now races outside Arabian Poppy. So the greys are 3rd and 4th now. It's Appreciable on the inside of Anichka. A length away then a Pipeline Miss, and then El Ticino hard ridden back on the inside. Talak Toff has always been wide, going around Royal Mystique. Elsie Elmer's covering a bit of additional ground, a line wide out, then Majestic Miss. Lumpy's Princess, Robley Lass, Our Spanish Eyes, Gold View, and last Australis Bazaar. Inside the 600, and Arabian Poppy in front from Missing Sheets. Talak Toff 3 out, then Appreciable, who's had a good run, and Nitschka hard ridden, then Royal Mystique. Next the inside was Pipeline Miss, and then Majestic Miss. Lumpy's Princess trying to get clear from Elsie Elmer, and a line is running on. Inside the 300 now, Arabian Poppy the leader. Royal Mystique has come after it fast, and then a line. Talak Toff and Lumpy's Princess, a line going up to Royal Mystique. Robbie Lass runs on. Our Spanish Eyes further out. Robbie Lass is after a line, then Lumpy's Princess and Gold View, but Robbie Lass win it away. Robbie Lass kicked away Australis Bazaar to second from Goldview, but Robbie Lass wins it. Second Australis Bazaar, Goldview third, then Lumpy's Princess. Next in Royal Mystique from a line, Our Spanish Eyes, Majestic Miss, Pipeline Miss, Tanak Toff, and then Elsie Elmer. It had no luck. Arabian Poppy, Missing Sheets, Appreciable knocked up, then Anichka and El Tocino at the rear of the field.
Well, Dan, they seem to come from all parts of the track then, and as we can said before, this track will just back anything today. There's nothing wrong with it. And, this horse here, they were coming all ways. Robbie Lass certainly got home at the top of the last bit, ridden by Danny Nikolic, and was a very strong win in the finish.
There were a heap of chances inside the last 300 metres, and the horse Arrowed is the winner of the race.
Yes, and it was giving him, 2 or 3 lengths start here, and the one right on the outside is Australis Bazaar. It's got home, I think it's got up and pinched second.
Well, it was last on the turn, Gary.
Yes, well, that just proves, as we said, Dan, earlier, it's don't be frightened where they've drawn, not like Saturday. It's tracks racing like, as you said, Flemington of old.
7-2-3 are the numbers, 7-2-3, and that is Robbie Lass, Danny Nikolic, Australis Bazaar, Mark Flaherty, and Goldview, Frankie Dettori.
Yes, I thought Goldview was going to be right in it there for a while until Robbie Lass came on the scene. It would have been great for Frankie to ride a winner right away here on Melbourne Cup Day.
Lumpy's Princess, number 9, fourth. Fifth in was number 8, Royal Mystique, and they were only half a second outside the track record. The time was 1:42.7.
And there's a great head-on shot here, a Robbie Lass in the gold with the gold blinkers. The one on the outside of it is Frankie Dettori, and you cannot even see Australis Bazaar. It is that wide out on the track. That's just as they go across the line here. But a great win. She got the line very well.
There's John Letts on horseback. He's got Danny Nikolic. Danny's got a most important ride in the Melbourne Cup a little bit later on too. He's aboard the New Zealander Sapio. So perhaps Letts, it could be a big day for Dan.
Well, Danny's pretty excited about the horse, Robbie Lass. You come from last, Dan. You're only half a second outside the track record. A good run, eh?
Yeah, Johnny, they went along very hard. She tracked up enormous through the run, and I rode her a little bit patient. As soon as I got her to the outside, I knew I had him covered, but she's she's a little bit shady. She's, you give her a backhand and she wants to duck in and duck out. Makes it a little bit awkward to ride out. But
Danny, she's always promised a lot, hasn't she? But today she really produced.
Yeah, she needs a lot of things to go her way, Johnny. She's honest when things go her way, but she does need plenty of speed on and to get out in the clear.
And Dan, you got a cheerio?
Yeah, I want to say hello to Mum and my grandmother Joan.
Well, Danny, this is a great way to start the day off on Melbourne Cup Day. Good luck in the big one later.
Thanks, Johnny.
Danny Nikolic out there with John Letts, and with us now is the winning trainer, Gary Lee. Congratulations.
Thanks, Peter.
Always nice to win a race on Cup Day.
It certainly is, yes, not that we have many.
Nice patient ride, wasn't it?
It was, yes. She's always been capable of winning a race in the city, but always seems to get into a lot of trouble in races, and today everything went right. She got out and worked home really well.
Well, I suppose if she does get into trouble, the fact that the track is racing evenly today, a lot more evenly than it was on Saturday, was good for you, because she could basically come from anywhere.
That's right. If it had been Saturday, it wouldn't have suited her, because she's got to get out into the open to come home, not being very big, and things did suit her today.
Keep that smile on your face. Well done, Gary.
Thanks, Peter.
Gary Lee, the winning trainer after the third race. Numbers there, 7, 2 and 3. Robbie Lass, Danny Nikolic returning to scale. We'll take a break and be back to Flemington with the correct weight signal and the dividends in just a moment.